Hello, this is Bobby Harden, and you're watching Musician Reveal with Joe Kelley.
My next guest on Musicians Reveal is an amazing soul singer-songwriter from New York City via Youngstown, Ohio. Besides his incredible solo CDs, he's the lead singer of the original Blues Brothers band. We've talked to him for many years on the radio. Now we have him right here on Musicians Reveal on YouTube and all outlets. Mr. Bobby Harden. How you doing, Bobby?
Hey, I'm doing great, Joe. Always a pleasure and an honor to be here with you.
Yeah, you got a little break. Let me ask you, because I think I saw some photo. You went to the Philippines to do some gigs, right?
It was supposed to be a gig, but
okay.
What happened? It got canceled. So they said, "Well, just come make a vacation out of it," and they paid me. So I said, "Well, you can't. I couldn't turn that down." I had the best time. I didn't realize how badly I needed a vacation. I really didn't, because I was about to pass it up and say, "No, it's okay." But I'm glad. My wonderful friends, Sophia Bright and her boyfriend Milo Foscato, who's like two of my best friends, and he's a great singer himself. And they said, she's from the Philippines, so she said, "Just come on over, and we'll make a vacation out of it." And it was fantastic. I had a great time, a really great time. I needed that vacation.
Yeah, how'd you deal with the flight from JFK all the way out there?
We didn't have any problems at all. The flight was smooth, everything. And I like long distance flight because I sit right down there. I sit in my seat. As soon as they pass, give me a glass of wine, look at the movies, start watching movies to distract myself. And so I kind of enjoy it. I have my books that I read, and I'm sort of like come prepared, knowing exactly, how I'm going to make this trip.
One of the things that interested me was seeing a picture of you at the Taipei, Taiwan airport, because I lived out there for 3 years, worked there, and the airport looks a lot better than it did when I was out there.
Oh, yes, it was nice. It was a beautiful airport. And yeah, everybody was, and you know what? The people were all nice, so nice. And, well, I won't go into discussion about certain things because it's too long, but it's beautiful. The people were beautiful, and I enjoyed myself very, very much. I enjoyed myself very, very much. And it was, I did sing a lot, though. Every time we went to a club, Grace, she said, "Oh, we got two singers from New York."
Oh, okay.
And Milo would get up, we would just start singing with the band. It's a lot of wonderful, talented people over there. My God, man. Woo, they got some talent. Mm-hmm.
So we know you primarily from New York City because you made your home there for quite a while, but you go back to your roots, Youngstown, Ohio, and you went to visit your mom just recently. And yeah, how's your mom doing?
Well, my mom has a tad of dementia, but let me tell you something. You would never really know it because we have such great conversations, and she just might repeat herself. We might go through the whole thing. Say, "Okay, now where are you performing at?" But we do that. But sometimes she doesn't do that, and I think it's because I have two sisters that's constantly there with her, and always engaging with her. I call her 2 or 3 times a day. My sister from Houston calls her 2 or 3 times a day, and I have 2 other sisters that engage too. So she gets so much love, and I mean, she's funny. She always has a comeback line, and she's not out of the equation by any means, And right. She's probably one of my favorite people. She's my favorite person to talk to because we get a laugh all the time. She makes me laugh. I make her laugh, and she always said, "When you coming back?" I said, "I'm coming back." I go once a month.
Oh, okay.
And I already told my daughters, I said, "Listen, from here on out, all holidays, I'm going home to swim with my mother, So that's that." And they said they understand. And my youngest daughter, Olivia, she goes to Ohio State. So she has a short vacation break. So she's actually going to come to Youngstown, or I'll go pick her up in Columbus and bring her to Youngstown, and we'll have Thanksgiving there. And my other daughter will spend Thanksgiving with my ex-wife because it's her birthday the next day, so she'll have hers, which is great, So it's working out fine. Yeah, she's doing great, Joe. Thank you for asking. My mom is the bomb. She's 91, will be 92.
I know. I saw the picture, beautiful, and she's cheating on her age. I mean, she doesn't look 91, 92.
No, man. She's 92, and I think she's in better health than all my sisters. She said, "I got this pain in my knee that like arthritis." I said, "Well, okay, Mama, get up and go up those steps. Come on, that helps you get circulation goes down." She sits in that chair and watch her TV and have a good time. We feed her, we take good care of her. They said, one of my sisters said, "Mama shouldn't be going up and down those steps." I said, "That's the only exercise she's getting. She's going up and down those steps." And we get her up, and she does it. You know, she's doing great. You know, she's doing great. We kind of blessed. I mean, she's 91 to be 92 in February, and still, you know. And again, I count my blessings. I lost my father like 3 years ago, and
you were telling me about that, yeah.
Yeah, and I was right there by his side. I was right there in that room with him. He was at home. He passed away at home in his bed at night. And I read him some scriptures, sang some songs. So my sister, Jim, well, don't forget to sing to Daddy. I said, "Yeah, you're right, because the last thing that goes is hearing." But he was still conscious. He wasn't talking much at all, but he was still like, you know, he wasn't in pain. And I kissed him on his forehead that night and whispered in his ear and said, "Daddy, listen, you worked hard all your life. We love you. We're going to miss you. If you want to make your transition, it's okay. We got Mom. We're going to take care of the house," which we're taking care of the house big time. We're fixing it up really nicely. And that morning, you know, he made his transition. You know, it's beautiful, man. I woke up and he took my advice.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I got his blessing. Yeah, but there's nothing like, you know, during the pandemic, we took care of my mom, me and my wife, and nothing like being able to spend time with your parents before they make their transition. I mean, we were able to do that before she's sick and passed. So, yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. So that's a blessing, right? It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. And unfortunately, I just heard one of my best friends, his girlfriend, mother, died unexpectedly. And so they had to fly to another country to, you know, her and her father, because he was visiting her. And so that's too much. I don't like that. You know, let me have time to prepare, but we can't. It's not our decision to make. But I am glad I had time to prepare. We took care of our father. He knew he was loved. He died where he wanted to die, at home. And my mother looks like she's gonna be around for a long time.
I know. Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah. So
we hope so. I pray. But you know, Joe, you know, I used to think that you can rush your time, but I am 100% convinced now that when it's your time, it's your time. Because you see people have car accidents, people die, some people live. People could be in their house, sitting, minding their own business. A plane hit the house, a bullet come through, or somebody come in, and then, you know, you're in these. So I could be wrong, but I am now convinced we have a birth date and we have a death date. Yeah. And when it comes, it comes.
Right. I mean, it's great that as we get older, we can, you know, accept it. We hope it doesn't come soon, but you know, doesn't pass anybody by. So
no. And you know, I've been studying the Vedanta teachings for many years now, and I actually been meditating for like 30-something years consistently, and it has transformed my life in the way I think and the way I see everything, in a way that has healed my heart and accept life in a healthy way, and death as a beautiful transition. I don't see it as a, you know, like some people do. So, but we're not here to discuss all of that. But it's all, for me, it's all transition. Come and you go until you get it right. And the whole purpose of each reincarnation is to discover the divinity that's in you, that Christ consciousness, that God in you, that oneness with God. And when you discover that, you don't need to come back to this world, because nothing interests you anymore unless you come to help humanity grow spiritually. So, but so you know, I'm good. I'm good with living. I'm good with making my transition.
Not too soon.
Not too soon. No, I ain't got. You know, Joe, what I want to get at, you know, I have this album, right? Bridge of Love. You know, actually, I love all River of Soul, Soul Purpose. Those are some good tracks. I just did a concert at Chelsea Stage and Table, and I said, okay, this concert is going to be all about my music. I did songs from all 3 records. That was one of the best concerts. And you know, and my music is so good. But this album, Bridge of Love, I just knew that was going to be a game changer for me. That was going to, like, okay, I'm on my way now. Of course, it came out during COVID.
Yeah.
But, and then, but the songs are so beautiful and so good, and they're still finding their way. So it's not, nothing is over until it's over, and it's not over because as long as songs continue to get played, you always picking up a fan base. And I have picked up many new fans from this album, especially from Feel So Good, man. Woo, brother.
You got some great songs through. You mentioned the catalog. For all the music, where is the best spot people gonna purchase your music?
For this album, you can get this on Dollar Records. You can find it in your local record stores too. It's in record stores. Now, if it's not in your record store, you can say, "Hey, listen, could you order that album, Bridge of Love by Bobby Harden?" And they will order it for you and put it in a record store. But you can go to Dollar Records. You can go to Bandcamp, I think, to get the album. Yeah, just, you can go to Dollar Records. It'll tell you where you can get it. But it's a wonderful, wonderful album. And again, Feel So Good has been placed in several episodes, different episodes in these miniseries. And we were up for another one. It was like, it was in the film, right? And then when they got to the film, they decided, well, maybe we don't need music right there. And so that song Feel So Good got close. I said, I need to talk to the director.
Right. That's right.
Let me tell you something, brother. You need that song in that clip right there. But it's always finding its way, a lot of great songs. Raise Your Mind, they go over well live, so and Billy and I are getting ready to go back in the studio. We're gonna start writing some new music. We're going to start writing some new music. We'll probably just do one song at a time and release it and boom and do that. And the other thing is, and I'm actually going into the studio today with Stu Cutler, because Stu Cutler's
another great friend of ours. Yeah.
Yes, right. And I just co-wrote one song for his new album, and we did a cover song, Buried Alive, And so I have those two tracks on his new record. We were going to try to write a second one, but I've been so busy, we just didn't get the time to do it. So his will be out real soon. He moves fast.
Tell him I said hi. I talked to him. We interviewed during the pandemic, like the early stages of it.
Mm-hmm. I certainly will give him your best regards. Yes, I will.
You're always working with talented musicians. Another friend of ours, at some point you did some David Watson.
Oh yeah,
David. Yeah.
David's great. Yeah, you know something, Joe. Truly, I've been blessed to know so many wonderful musicians, and work with so many wonderful musicians, especially the Blues Brothers. And my band members. My band members: Ron Thompson, Gene Torres, Chris Carter, Stu Cutler subs for Stu Carter, and Jonathan Perez has got sort of like the drummer chair right now. And I've been using Yuichi Hirakawa too, who's a really wonderful drummer, So the drummer chair sort of floats a little bit, and but actually I don't go by Soul Purpose anymore. I just starting to brand my name because I don't know who's going to be in the band. Because I actually started working with Rich Pagano too. He put a unit together for me because I want to start doing more work upstate and stuff like that in the area. And sometimes the budget is not what it need to be for me to ask musicians to go that far. Some of them will, but most of them, all of them really would do a solid for me. But I figured, let me just put this new unit together. And what the goal now is just to brand Bobby Harden.
Okay.
So when I do my other live concerts with me, I just go Bobby Harden. Now, when I work with the Soulful Saints, it is Bobby Harden and the Soulful Saints. And so we'll see how that plays out when we do the next record. If we just go under Bobby Harden or with the Soulful Saints, I don't know. But one step at a time, and one step at a time. And the reason why I say do that, because, when I do shows, sometimes the musicians are on the road, they got these other projects. So, I have a band, and it's not like, it's not like I'm Stevie Wonder where, when Stevie Wonder call, you don't care. You're going to drop everything.
You keep your travel bag by the door.
I'm not there yet, Joe.
Not saying never, right? You can't. Yeah.
That's right. Never say never. So now I'm just branding my name Bobby Harden, Harden. And so that's where I'm at now. And I want to give a shout out to Carol Sylvan and Joyce Stovall, because they were my background vocalists. They're all lead singers that have their own projects. Carol got a lot of stuff she's working on now, and Joyce is doing some things. But they've been doing my background vocals for a long, long time, and they're like family to me. And if I ever do get a big budget project and need some, they'll be the first I call. However, Carol would probably be doing her own thing, because she's really making some strides with her career. So that's good,
Right. Yeah. Let me delve into being the lead singer with the original Blues Brothers band. Legend Steve Cropper, Lou Marini. I even saw Tom Bones Malone was doing a gig, right? Playing on the trombone.
Yeah, Tom is with us. Yeah, he's a busy guy, man. God, I said, Tom, who haven't you worked with?
Right.
And you named two. One I remember was Frank Sinatra. He said, Bobby, I've never worked with Frank Sinatra. He said, but they called him for a session, but he couldn't do it because he was already booked. I think the other one might have been Elvis Presley. I think it was those two, but he didn't work with everybody. I mean, listen, sitting down, I just keep my mouth shut, my ears open, because there's nothing I can say. It's just love listening to him. And Lou Marini too. I mean, nobody can tell a joke better than Lou Marini, and nobody going to outdress Lou Marini, and nobody's going to outwalk Lou Marini. He's fantastic. He's fantastic. And of course, you have Leon Pendarvis, who's like, Lou said it right. He said, Bobby, when you meet Leon, you're going to fall in love with him. And when he meets you, he's going to fall in love with you. And that's what happened. We're like brothers. I love that guy. And I love all the band members, So working with him, and, he's great. And then Steve Cropper doesn't tour with us so much. He's not touring with us. But, then we have Lee Finkelstein. You know Lee Finkelstein.
Yeah.
Great drummer. He's with the band. And James Haggerty out of Nashville. He's a great bass player, wonderful person. And we got Steve Howard playing trumpet out of Dallas, Texas, or sort of outskirts of Dallas, Texas. But he's great too. He was with Wings, He taught Paul McCartney for many, many years. Yeah, and then Rusty Cloud is subs for Leon when he can't do it. And this time we did a gig at Oklahoma. We never went to the States. Yeah, Oklahoma at the Cherokee Casino. And Dave Spinoza came in and subbed, and no rehearsal, nothing, man. He hadn't done that show since who knows when. He came and nailed it, man. What an extremely talented guy he is. And I think I named everybody. I hope I got everybody. But it's a wonderful unit. We're a band of brothers. I feel blessed to have that opportunity to have, got that spot.
How did it happen?
Wait. I can't forget my brothers. Tom. Yeah. Rob Paparosi and Tommy McDonald, man. So those two guys, man, let me tell you something. It doesn't get any better than them. They're so professional and so great, and know the show. So Tommy was been there the longest, and Rob came and took over for him, and so they're doing that show by themselves. Okay, but Eddie Floyd was the guest singer. So so that was all great. So those my brothers, they're the best. I love them.
How did you first get into the group as being a singer? How did that occur?
Well, do you remember Eric Udell? Bass player. Yeah. Eric and I did a gig together, and he said, how come I never met you? I said, I don't know. He said, man. I said, well, I haven't never. He said, I've been around. He said, he's been around, but he's been out of touring a lot and doing stuff. And I said, man, he said, listen, the Blues Brothers looking for a new singer. You got to audition. And I auditioned, and I will never forget. I did the audition. And Eric was cool. He said, come on over to my place. I'm going to show you, we're going to go over the songs that that you're going to do. And so he helped prepare me. And I went over to this place, and we rehearsed the songs, and I did the rehearsal. And it went over great. They were in there. I was at a rehearsal room, and I did my thing. And it's funny, Lou might not remember this, but Lou has another band, and I auditioned for that band. I didn't get that part, but the other guy I can't think of his name, but he's a great singer. He got it. So, but when I left, when I was leaving out, I said, don't make the same mistake, Lou. I'll come around the third time, okay? I'm not. I didn't tell him the third time, but I said, don't make the same mistake. And he
while you
called
can.
me. Yeah, and it was wonderful. Yeah, it was really, really a great. It's been a great ride, and I'm still on the bus, you know, with them, with the guys, you know. So,
have you played that? Because a friend of mine, he's Ronnie Baker Brooks. He's a Chicago blues guitarist. Did you play the jail that was in the movie out in Illinois?
Say that one more time.
The jail that in the Blues Brothers. That was. Did you guys ever do a concert out there? Because he did a concert out there. I think Dan Aykroyd put together some festival.
What club was it?
No, it was the prison that was in the movie.
No, well, they probably did it before my time.
Okay.
That was before my time. No, okay. I would remember that.
Yeah, that would be memorable. So have you tried?
I would remember that. No, that was before I might see some of my friends. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a long time. Now I know why I haven't seen you.
No, I don't even know if it's a prison anymore, but yeah, I got to do some more research on that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. No, I don't remember doing that. But
I got a question.
They've done. I mean, they used to work so much, a lot. And be honest with you, like I say, I know God is always working out everything for me because I joined them at the perfect time because I couldn't do crazy touring at all, you know, because I had I was married, I had my second daughter, you know, she was, you know, born, and my wife, you know, so I'm a father first. So it's no way, and I had my kids late, so there's no way I'm going to miss out on chapters of my kid's life like that. I just would have said, no, that's not for me. And and they just went out every now and then, which was good, you know, because I had to be a father first, and I wanted to enjoy those chapters, and it paid off too because my daughters, my oldest daughter said, "Daddy, you are an amazing father," and my other daughter, who's in Ohio State, she had one of the teachers. The topic was, "Who's your biggest inspiration?" Blah blah blah, and you know who she said? My father is. Yeah, and she won't tell me. Right. Yeah, but she said, I don't know. I shouldn't even tell you this because you know your head gonna get big. I said, no, it's not gonna get big. It's not gonna come on, tell me. She told me, I said, what? My head? I said, I told you I was a great dad. No, but I got, you know, we have a wonderful relationship with both of them. And, you know, it's just beautiful, really wonderful. You know, you got to invest time. You know, everything is about love. Now, I know every parent got to do what they got to do. But for me, it was always making sure those kids got conditioned with love and knowing that they're loved. And I don't care how, because it's not like we could, you know, take fancy vacation because the neighborhood we lived in, you know, a lot of wealthy people lived in that neighborhood, in that district, but other regular people like me too. But we were able to give them what we could, and what we gave them was enough. You know, it was plenty, you know, and they, so love is everything, you know. And so I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on that chapter, that of being a father, the father chapter, and doing what needed to be done to give my girls what they needed, you know, to thrive in life. And they are doing great. They really are. So proud of them.
Yeah, you made the right decision. You know, great. I'm sure your parents taught you the same. So it's just filtering down to the next generation.
Well, you know, one thing, I mean, we're going to get real. My mother and father, my mother, 6 kids, man. I don't even want to, because I'm going to choke and I'm going to cry. But she was just, it's full of so much love. My father had love, but he was hurt in a lot of ways because he was not the father that I am to my kids. But he was a good father. I mean, he was a provider, you know, but he only did, you know, there was a lot of things that we know he could have done and should have done. And but he didn't have it, because I got to understand my father as I got older, because I'm gonna tell you something. And when we were growing up, my father was, you know, he's mean, you know, but he was always there. He would go to work, but he was mean. He was mean. I'm just gonna call it like it is. But then when I realized as I got older, you know, moved away, because I moved away because my father and I got in a fight. He was gonna jump on my mother. Said, "Hell no, we got." And I said, "No more. You know, we keeping this real."
Mhm.
but he was a good person. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he was a good person, but he was a broken person because growing up back in Georgia, no father, his mother technically didn't raise him, but she was in her life. His grandmother raised him, but she was mean too. She disciplined him. She was mean, but she was good. And his brother got killed when he was like 10, and his brother was 12 by a car, and he didn't have, dropped out in ninth grade. My mother dropped out in ninth grade. They didn't drop out, they just didn't continue their education. So I guess that is dropping out, right? But they just didn't continue. And she was in the same boat. She didn't know who her father was. And her mother technically didn't raise her, but she was in her life. Her mother moved to New York. And so they were on there. He grew up with like not having everything that I had. At least he stayed there with us. He disciplined us. My father, everybody in Youngstown loved my father, okay? They loved my father. My father was a good man. He was a good man. He worked hard, But he was, when we were growing up, he had issues, and that he was, and it was pain issues. And I understood that. He didn't have a therapist to talk to. He didn't have a father to talk this stuff out. He didn't have anybody to talk this out. But I will say this: when I did move away, and as I got older, my father was a changed man. Especially when he saw my mother was starting to change that little dementia. He became. He took great care of her. Okay. Everything. And we laughed with our father. We had fun with him. I don't want to pay him enough. We had fun with my father. It's just that he had this stuff, that he had to work out, and I didn't know. None of us understood that stuff, so we was always angry at him because of the way he acted. But as I got older, my father shared a lot with me, and we started talking, and so I can relate to why he was angry, because he was so smart. He was so smart. My father had so many self-help books in his room. He was always trying to fix things, and
Yeah, I feel you too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was wonderful. Mm-hmm. And my father and I, the last, the 20 years, 30 years of his life, we had such a wonderful relationship. We had a wonderful relationship. We had a good, we were able to talk, we were able to, but he never really, he never shared some of this stuff. But I knew he shared things with me, but he just didn't have that, that like back in the day, everybody got to have a therapist, back then that wasn't like that.
Yeah. We're all on the boat. We need it.
Yeah, right. And being always, I never forget when he told me, Jim, when I never forget, I think my older sister, my other sister Shirley were born, and he said he got laid off because he would work at the mill, get laid off, and and he had 2 kids, and he said he didn't have any money, got laid off, and Christmas was right around the corner. He just went to a bar and had a drink, and it was and the white man was sitting next to him. I don't know where he said, they started talking, and he told him what was going on, and the man said, "Give me your address." And that man brought a Christmas tree and toys to knock on the door. Okay. My father always said, Jim Buck, they call me Jim Buck. Okay. Never be too proud to share your problems, And I said, well, Daddy, I am a little proud. I don't share all my problems, but he said, no, because, and he told me that story. So he had a lot of tough days, but my father, like I said, everybody loved my father because he was a good person. They made us treat people right. He disciplined. He never kind of beat us for no reason. We got whipping. It was for a reason, okay? And so he was a good man. He was a really good man, But we had the chapters when we grew up. We had to deal with stuff that we didn't know was not normal.
Right.
Because we were growing up in this environment, like, oh wow, But now when I look back, I said, wow, But again, I tell you something. Our karma is so beautiful because all my sisters, we have such a wonderful relationship. We love each other. We look out for each other. All our kids are good kids. They're not in trouble. We are blessed because our family, everybody, no, they're good. So we raised our kids, and the love, because my mother and father gave us that love. Of course, we didn't understand it, when we was growing up for us. But now I look back, I can see how much love we had. Plus in the neighborhood, because let me tell you something, Joe. When I was growing up, we're in Youngstown, Ohio. It was a thriving city because we had the General Motors, we had the steel mills, and there was houses all around kids. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of kids. And we didn't realize how blessed we were to grow up in that community, because everybody was sort of was like a parent to you, you know, the neighbors, parents. And so now when I go back home, my house is like in the middle of the block. It's the first house from the one corner and the third house from the other corner. And all across the street, there's only 3 houses. And all in the neighborhoods, it's like, wow. So how blessed we were. And there's not that many kids in the neighborhood because, you know, it's not that many houses anymore. But it's a beautiful neighborhood because everything looked like we were in the country now. But we didn't realize how blessed we all were, everybody in Youngstown, because we had so much. Now, when you look back, now you think, God, I remember 2 years ago when I was home for Thanksgiving, I said, I'm going to buy some candy. My sister, I don't know what you buy candy for. Nobody going to knock on the door. I know somebody going to come, you know. I had the light on, had the candy. Nobody knocked.
Oh, wow.
Nobody knocked.
Neighborhood change,
Yeah.
I got a couple friends from Youngstown. One of the friends, Joe Rich, he played football, returning punts on Ron Jaworski's college team out there.
What team did he play for?
He played on Ron Jaworski, the quarterback for the Eagles way back.
Okay.
He was returning punt. And I don't know, do you know Jerry B from Sound Doctrine? An entree musician. Yeah, he's from Youngstown. And a few weeks ago, I was like the guest for his entree musicians community. And so, you know, I'm giving my advice to the musicians through the radio business and stuff. But there were so many people from Youngstown in that group, musicians, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of talent out of
man. A lot of talent in Youngstown. And I go back, and again, I was only singing gospel music when I was in Youngstown. So I wasn't in the circular music, and I didn't realize I could sing until I was 13. I was only in the gospel music. So when I left Youngstown, I didn't know any of the musicians like that. I just was oblivious to them. I just knew Mount Zion church singers, you know, and that was that. And so when I moved away, you know, I didn't know anything about, you know, I knew Youngstown had a lot of bands because there was a lot of talent. But then when I go back, I'm just meeting people, you know, and I'm like, this guy named, I think his name's Steve Howard. He's working with one of those groups now. I forgot the name of the group, but he's an extremely talented person, you know. And then they got one of the guys from Ohio Players. He plays the guitar. I forget his name, but he's a really talented person too. And then they got Deborah Benton. She puts a lot of groups together, and she's doing a Dionne Warwick tribute show. She's really, really good. So she's done the City Winery, and she does a lot of outside concerts. And I actually did 3 concerts since I've been. Yeah, she booked me to do some outside. I think it's 2. Yeah, I think I did twice. 2 concerts in the park, and it was a real big success. It was fun, performing in Youngstown, because I never performed my secular music in Youngstown, and so it was really nice, you know. And I'm getting to know some more musicians and discovering some of my friends that I grew up with. Keith Logan, he's a musician, and he has a band, and so it's nice. So eventually, as I'll do more up there and meet more musicians and you know, have some fun, you know. But it's great. Yeah, Youngstown is full of talent, man. Lots of talent. You know, I got to meet your friends one day, you know.
Yeah. Jerry B, he's I'm sure maybe you guys saw each other online, because he's a drummer.
Probably so. We might be Facebook friends too.
Yeah, could be, exactly. Yeah, he's a great guy. You mentioned venues like City Winery. You've played a lot of venues in New York City as well, and some have passed. The clubs or venues have closed down, but what are some of your highlights at playing in New York City?
Well, now I discovered this new club called Chelsea Stage and Table. My bass player, Tony Lewis, a great drummer, referred me to the club, and the manager called me, and it's been a match made in heaven. I did 2 shows. The first one was almost a sellout too, and the first one I did with Rich Pagano, and he was the drummer. He put the band together. It was great. And the second one I was going to do with him, but he couldn't do it, and I didn't want to reschedule. So I said, well, I'm just going to go put my other rhythm section together, and we did it, and it worked out beautifully. 'Cause like I said, we did all music from all three of my records, and my guys are great too. So it was just a wonderful concert. Had a good turnout, and I didn't realize it could be viewed on Zoom, And then I started promoting that, until late. But if next time now, I'm going to hit that early because I got a lot of fans over in Europe, and I was able to get in touch with them, so some of them, so they can chime in. And my family in Ohio saw it, and some friends in Youngstown and other parts of the state. So that worked out really nicely, really nicely. So I was going to say Chelsea Stage and Table is really it's a great room, and of course I'm going to try to do the cutting room again too. But I can't. My fan base is I ain't got it like that, so I got to be careful. I can't be booking myself once a month. At a certain place I could, but I guarantee my musicians a certain amount, and I'm not. I'm not in that position yet. To be able to say, okay, don't worry about it. But I'll get there. But I do have I have a fan base, and my fans come out. And when they don't come out, it's because they can't. And I'm just grateful for the fact that I can do those type of rooms and bring in people.
There's a couple spots I was thinking back. This could be 20 years ago. I wonder if these places still exist. Ty Stevens did his CD release party. It was like West 42nd Street, a club.
Oh, BB King's?
No, it wasn't BB King's. It was even more west. It was. I think it closed down. I thought about that club the other day, but I couldn't picture it. Yeah.
On 42nd Street?
42nd or 43rd. I don't know. Yeah.
Only one that was on 42nd was BB King's. And going further west, they got that Josephine, but that's not a club where we do showcases at. Jazz Josephine, that's like a restaurant. But Chelsea Stage and Table is a club that I'm working at, and I would like to go back to City Winery too. I was told that they want me to call them, but by me doing Chelsea Stage and Table, I couldn't do that one back to back. You're going to only do one every 2 months.
Right.
Maybe I'll try going into 2026, do one of those venues once a month. Because I am building up fans, and I just got to work it,
right,
a certain way. Okay.
So we're going to direct our viewers and listeners to go to BobbyHarden.com, HARDEN.com. You still got that vinyl you want to show them? That cool vinyl?
Oh yes, right here. Okay, Bridge of Love, Bobby Harden and the Soulful Saints. And you get some wonderful songs, 10 good songs. If you listen, Google Play Feel So Good, Raise Your Mind, Bridge of Love, Butterfly, One Night of the Week, Wounded Hearts, One Tribe, It's My Time. Did I get everything?
Yeah.
Running, Yes, it's a wonderful album, and I can still use support on it. So please, and it's on vinyl, as you can see, or you can get on CD format,
Yeah, we've been playing the tracks on Musicians Reveal Radio on Live 365, so people can go there and hear the music as well. So
which one is your favorite?
I like Feel So Good.
Isn't it a great one?
But every time I play one of your songs and upload it, I tell my wife, I said, man, this is some great music. And I mean, you've been singing like this for years. So, we've been playing all your stuff on the radio. So
Joe, you have been a big, listen, Joe, if I ever get the hit record, I don't care wherever I go, I'm always going to be on your show. Okay. Because you have given me support. You have been there for me from the very beginning. I really appreciate it, my brother. I really appreciate it.
That's not going to change. So
yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for what you do for a lot of artists, because we don't get, you don't have the other stations. Some station plays up the music, but you've been there. So that's all I can say. You've been there.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So appreciate spending time with us, Bobby Harden, on Musicians Reveal, and get the music. Go see him. BobbyHarden.com, Facebook too. He's always updating things. You can stay up to date on shows and such. And thanks, brother.
Hey, and tell a friend if they want to be on my mailing list to email me at bharden888@aol.com. Oh, I shouldn't give them that one. How about bobbyharden.soul@gmail.com?
There you go.
bobbyharden.soul, SOUL, @gmail.com. Email me your email address, and I'll put you on my newsletter, and you'll know exactly when I'm performing. Mm-hmm.
All right. And we'll have all those links in our descriptions. And thanks again, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Peace and love.
All
Give
right.
G a big hug to me. Okay. A big hug to you.
Okay, both. I will. Thanks. I'll see you in a few moments.
Okay. You got it, bro.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Bobby.